All right, hello everybody. We are back. Thank you very much for sticking with us. Of course, Tuki here, joined as always by my broadcast partner Sin. And Sin, a very interesting way to start off this broadcast today. A triple overtime marathon and then a very close game in that second matchup. But now we shift our sights to this, what could be a playoff preview by a lot of accounts. It is HAVU Gaming taking on Granit, and I am quite excited for this one and just how this one could play out.
This is going to be a big matchup. I mean, Granit's just coming off dropping 2 games from two YMCA, who were, again, one of those teams who were near the basement, didn't get off to the good start. Granit got off to a great start, so they're not going to be happy about that. And then you got HAVU on the other hand, who are starting out 4-3-1, who we know for a fact do not believe they should, have had that record. They expect more out of themselves. We perhaps even expect more out of HAVU Gaming. And we'll have to see what they want. They do find themselves right now in ninth, just on the outside looking in. But to get back on that inside, you're going to need some points, and they're going to have to take a couple at least off of Granit.
Absolutely. As you see there, again, defending champions in HAVU have made it a third of the way through the year undefeated. A perfect 10-0. And of course, the games played certainly factoring in at this point. We see Frölunda down in 5th. I mean, technically they are 2nd in terms of point per game pace, but it just goes to show that you can really not know what to expect at this stage at the moment. I mean, like I said, technically, Granit and HAVU would both be in the playoffs right now based off of point percentage. But again, it is a 30-game regular season, and we still have a long way to go. And how about that as well for HV71 dragging themselves out of the basement and putting Conquer Gaming into a very interesting spot. This season has been, as advertised so far, Sin, anything but predictable.
Yeah, just absolutely wild. As good to see Northern Ascendancy there picking up some wins and sort of making that record look a bit better. As I believe for a while they're like 0-3-4 or something, or 0-2-4. They had tons of overtime losses. So Northern Ascendancy figuring it out, getting a few more goals. It's good to see that. And YMCA, who I believe at one point was next to last, are now jumped up into that 11 spot. So you guys can see just how much 1 week can change in a season like we have here in the ECL Elite. And you could find yourself in a pretty position if you just have a pretty good week.
So again, NHLgamer.com, of course, has all the information that you need, not only to follow along with our Elite Division, but of course our Pro Division. We'll mention that yesterday. A big thank you to those of you who joined us yesterday. Of course, every Tuesday, 1945 CET, 2 p.m. Eastern, we have our Pro Division coverage for the week. Of course, King Lime and Timo on the call with that one. Sin and I, of course, here every Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday in the same exact time slot covering our Elite Division. So, Sin, with that, let's take a look at the lineups in this particular game.
And on the side of HAVU, you have Wiegelson, Dominointi, and Flyer Kungen, the captain. And on the back end, Nasustelia and Vilikun, of course. Now in this matchup, though, Sibelius gonna get the nod between the pipes. So he does have 4 games played so far. Him and Hanselino have split some time, so HAVU's still going with that 2 goaltenders set as we move over and check out Granit's lineup.
Absolutely. It is Ekin Zovi and Antonio Mannin up top. Furion and Captain Laminens on that right-hand side. Thunborg back between the pipes, of course, this season. One of our biggest stories. The coming together there of some of the original members of Granit coming back to the team and establishing what has been a very strong unit so far this season. Again, as Sin mentioned, with a 5-2-1 record heading into play today. Actually, I do believe that might be the updated record, but regardless, point remains. Sin, let's get into our individual breakdowns here. Center position, where we start off, it is Dominointi against Zovi, and this is, needless to say, a very interesting and a very close matchup.
It absolutely is, and both these centers putting up some very similar points. Zovi with a few more goals here, but 8 games played, 10 points apiece. The face-off battle, pretty close as well. 50% about on the button for Dominointi, and for Zovi, 53.8. And that's about as close as it gets for a center, a matchup. I mean, these two teams evenly matched, it seems, across all the field.
And taking a look now at the battle of the wingers, of course, for HAVU, Weagleson, and Captain Flyer Kungan on the other side, Ekin and Antonio Mannon. Ekin, of course, in that a big advantage in terms of the physicality. It's a nice dynamic that Granit have, the physicality of Ekin, but of course, Antonio, that phenomenal two-way play that he's able to utilize.
Yeah, absolutely. Being a former defenseman, of course, in Antonio, and again, Ekin with some experience in center as well. In the older edition of Vesapampa, he did play a lot of center for them, but here on the wing now, where it seems like he is more comfortable there with that 10 points in 8 games played. Antonio, would like to see. I'm sure he'd like to see himself getting a few more points here and there. Same thing with Weagleson, but I mean, the captain, Flyer Kungan, he only has that one goal, but his assists have been marvelous. He is always a threat on that forecheck, just an incredible defensive skill stick in aggressive situations. So you always got to be aware of where he is on the ice. It could give Furion and Lehman in some fits back there.
And defensively, Nasu Stelia and Vilikun in the lineup, of course, for HAVU. On the flip side, Furion and Laminans. And Sin, that kind of sets the stage for us with our focus for Granite Gaming. You may have noticed Ekin's over a point per game, so is Zovi. But that's it. And that's pretty surprising for this Granite team.
Yeah, it definitely is. I mean, they've always kind of had that strong defensive side, but I mean, you expect a guy like Lehman and to really be able to put up some points. He had an absolutely phenomenal season last season as he and Antonio Weir with Feriestad. And, again, bit of a slower start right now. I mean, it seems like the offense, as the team, are still trying to figure things out. Again, they're being great defensively, but you're going to need that spread between your goals for and your goals again to be better, to be able to sustain that good record that they have so far.
Indeed, and I believe, again, every single member of this lineup over a point per game last season. You mentioned Laminans in particular, just a casual 43 points in 30 games as a defenseman. No big deal.
So
Yeah, no kidding. We look at the battle of the goaltenders here to wrap this one up again. Toonborg between the pipes for Granite Gaming, but for HAVU, Sin, that's our focus for them. It's got to be Sibelius in those numbers.
Yeah, he was 11-3-0 last season, and he had a .86 save percentage and a 1 on the button goals against average, 6 shutouts. He's played 4 games this season so far, 1-2-1 with only a 73 save percentage. The goals against isn't too bad, 175. He does have a shutout to his credit, but with that shutout there, and you got to kind of wonder how his performance was in those other 3 games to pick up those losses and have his save percentage be where it's at. He's going to have to improve himself. And now's a chance against a tough team in Granite to sort of, get your season going.
I will say on the flip side, of course, we know he does split the net with Hans Solinho. Hans, who was great last year and has been great so far this year as well. So it does raise some questions, perhaps, over what has specifically gone wrong for HAVU at this stage. Oftentimes, of course, Sim, we wonder those questions, but at the same time, it's like, we don't really want to ruffle too many feathers by being like, hey, guys, so why aren't you in first right now? We know HAVU are serious competitors, and at the end of the day, we ask those questions, they could end up very close to that, and then we look pretty silly. So we leave it as it is. It's a very interesting matchup, though. Again, we are just about ready for puck drop for game 1 of 2. As always, the 30-game regular season, 16 teams. That's the math. You play each team once in a match day, 2 games, you're good to go. It's familiar for those of you that are big time football fans, of course. It's that format, but regardless, Sin, we get a look at the matchups tomorrow. Of course, Sin, at the very least, will be back. Gordon Hockey taking on H-Reds in action once again. Again, they'll be looking to move to a perfect 12-0 on the season. And Sin, I hate that I have to miss this matchup. It is IQ against Goons. But at the end of the day, you got to keep doctor's appointments when you have them.
Absolutely. I mean, IQ, they're off to a very surprising start. Goons, again, one of those teams that shocked the ECL Elite by, I think, securing I think it was the 5 spot, if not the 4 spot in last year's playoffs, and they're off to a hot start as well. So to see those 2 teams take each other on is going to be absolutely exciting.
Absolutely. So again, that will be tomorrow, 1945 CET, 2 p.m. Eastern. Sin, of course, will be on the call, transitioning into the play-by-play role, taking over this seat, which, Yeah, it's not a problem for him at all. And I'm looking forward to hopefully being able to watch that broadcast back. He will be joined alongside a member of the chat there, Mr. Endo Mills, and the third member of the, hey, let's plug it, the Tukey Steak podcast. You can listen to all three of us, of course, on Spotify, Apple, Google, everywhere. And, of course, in video form on YouTube, the Tukey Steak podcast. In case you can't get enough of Sin and I here, you can hear us talk about the world of hockey and how ridiculous it is pretty much all the time. Sin, with that, heading into this game, I don't want to call it a must-win for both, but at the same time, similar to that last matchup, crucial points at stake early on in the season.
Absolutely, and probably best case scenario for both of these teams would be 2 overtime games. One team wins each, and you both walk away with 3 points. But both of these teams, as you mentioned, strong competitors, very greedy. They want those 4 points. They're going to be going all out, and we kind of mentioned it. What's the struggle with HAVU, and I'll put myself in the hot seat a little bit. I think the transition from NHL 21 to NHL 22 has been one of the more kind of hectic transitions between 2 different games than we've kind of had in a while. And there's been some people who have struggled to sort of adjust. I don't know if we're seeing that with HAVU so far, but that might be part of it. And guys, exclamation point survey in chat for your chance. This is the last day to fill out that survey for your chance to win a PlayStation 5. So get on that and try to, as Tukey says, find something that is impossible to find.
I mean, again, I'm not salty about it at all. Even though there's about 5 games you can play on it right now, you'll still be able to flex. Perfect for the Instagram. You'll be good to go. Then we are ready to go for our first game of 2 between these 2 teams. Of course, ECL Elite Division action brought to you by our friends at Wilhelm, Kovalon Lakritzy, XBill, and ST Hockey. Excited for this one, a playoff caliber matchup between HAVU Gaming and Granit Gaming. Let's see how this one goes. Barring, okay, we're good to go. It's always a nervous moment when you see the sinking screen, Sin.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty much been fixed at this point, but for all of us who did play quite a bit as this game came out, yeah, that sinking screen, it makes you clench a little bit.
It is HAVU in their road whites, of course, Granit in the black and gold. See what they're able to do again. 2 very, very strong teams. Playoff aspirations, and we have a goal! Less than 2 minutes in, Weagleson, ever the opportunist, finds the back of the net. What a start for HAVU.
Yeah, Granit kind of gets caught in their own zone a little bit and just trying to pass it back and forth. The pressure was there, but it wasn't too strong, and then it was almost like HAVU just said, okay, play into our hands, and that's something that we've seen from HAVU throughout the last bunch of seasons especially. They let people play into them, force the mistakes out of them. That's what happened right there. Weagleson picks that one up, puts it home on the short side on Thunborg, and HAVU jumps out to that 1-0 lead.
His team leading 8th goal of the year, the new addition to HAVU. As again, we've talked about it, it's not an overly controversial thing for them. It's, one of those things where we never try to play up the drama. It's no hard feelings for HAVU, but it is, again, their 3rd straight season with a change at left wing, but so far, so good for Weagleson. Again, now 8 goals and 1 assist in what is now his 9th game of the season. Big hit there. Weagleson down, and behind the play, Granit not able to take advantage of it. So now Sustelia was able to take that one away. HAVU will look to reset there, though. You see the captain, Flyer Kungan, the gold helmet for HAVU. It's their team's leading scorer. Zovi on the other side, despite being tied in points with Ekin at this stage. Deflection bid, big save by Thunborg. Not an easy one to make after giving up that early goal.
No, absolutely not. Got to be in sharp position then. Even when you are, sometimes those deflections can really have eyes there, as we saw a massive collision right there with some elite edges. To lay him out in kind of that defensive zone. He looks, shaken up a little bit. But powering through it now is, we'll see how much HAVU wants to work that point. Villikun so far this season without a point so far in 8 games played, which is an incredibly rare occurrence. Usually, HAVU's one of those teams we talk about. It's like, look at that. They got both defensemen contributing to the scoring sheet, and that's what you need for a top team. So, Villikun, I'm sure, wants to find the scoreboard sooner rather than later here in this season.
And of course, he's back in the lineup after sitting out ECL 12. Still solid defensively, though, of course. what HAVU will take at the very least. But of course, over our years now with NHL Gamer, we've been able to talk about the importance of getting those defenders involved, as we are nearly halfway through this first period. Furion able to wiggle his way out of trouble. Here's Ekin, able to find Zovi, gets it up to Furion, knocked loose. Trouble there perhaps for Sibelius. He'll have to take the draw.
Yeah, smart play right there to cover it up right there, as we see a bit of an altercation happening in the neutral zone. Captain Flyer Kungen going at it with, I think,
and he's going to take a penalty as a result. Tempers getting the best of him. Flyer Kung into the box on a roughing call after the whistle sent. I didn't want to jinx it by saying he was playing with fire, but indeed he did. And it's a power play for Granit. What a mistake that could prove to be. As Furion has it here, down low for Antonio Mannin. Now it's Ekin one more time. Let's see what Ekin's able to do. Back low for Antonio. Ekin, they score! Zovi with the power play tally. A mistake by the captain, and Granit tie it at 1 apiece.
I don't think we've ever seen a penalty being called after the whistle on a roughing call in all of our time in the ECL so far. We just saw it right there, and as if on cue, Granit capitalized on the opportunity. That feels bad right there. You go from trying to get into the head of your opponent to being even on the scoreboard right there. Granit Gaming responding in kind and tying this one up.
Maybe summarizes what HAVU's season has been so far. Here is Flyer Kungen. Dishes it to the point for Villikun. Gets it back down in the corner, now around the back of the net. Wraparound bid broken up. Court was overly threatening. Villikun fighting for it. Zovi still fighting for it as well. Again, the goal scorer. Been phenomenal this season. Here is Flyer Kungen. Of course, he was one of the few holdovers from last season for this newly rebranded Granit team, as this one will go all the way back to the neutral zone. A stunning turn of events here in the first period. That pass a little bit off the mark. Antonio able to regroup for Granit. In week 2 action here in our winter season. The new format here with the ECL. The big hit there, no penalty called. Villikun will be out of the play for the moment for HAVU. Again, 2 seasons, our winter and spring seasons, with a grand champion for NHL 22 being crowned at the end of it. Battle for the puck along the half wall. Ekin can't get that shot on goal. Now Sestelia able to settle that one down with 2 minutes to play here in the first period. Let's see what HAVU can do. They go for the dump and chase. We've seen them utilize that a little bit more this season. Villikun scores! His first point of the season, catching Thunborg off guard. And it's a 2-1 lead now for HAVU with a goal late in the first period.
Just a beautiful play right there off the dump in chase and then sent back by Wiegelson. And capitalized by Villikun. He gets his first there. That is such a classic thing that we used to see them do constantly with Villikun on the team. Him creeping up and smack that puck home from that location. He does it there on the dump and chase. Kind of the new sort of things that you can do here at NHL 22 on display. 2-1 lead now for HAVU.
So a huge moment for them to get that goal back after surrendering a power play goal. They will face a face-off in their defensive zone with 21 seconds to play. Sid mentioned it for Granit, the face-off edge so far this season with Zovi, but it's a 4-2 advantage for Dominointi as we see this face-off. Granit are going to get the win, but it's knocked loose. Lehman and shot blocked down in front. Chance for one more rush here, perhaps. Here's Wiegelson. Looking for a bit of space, sends it down low. Flyer Kungen nearly got it back in front, got absolutely floored at the buzzer. A 2-1 lead. And we'll get another look at the opening goal sent from Wiegelson less than 2 minutes into this contest.
Yeah, it actually has a close quarter superstar ability, which definitely helps out in those situations. Looking to pay off dividends in that chance as the puck kind of bounced to him and he just put that one home. But on the same breath, I mean, it was the initial dump was from Dominointi. Perfect cross corner for Wiegelson to get to it. Picked it up off a pretty fortuitous one hop and sent it all the way back to Villikun, who tucked that one home. And you can see them now with that lead, 2-1 lead, 2 minutes time on attack to just a 52. of Granit Gaming, who most of that, you got to think, would have come on that power play here. So a good start for HAVU. Both goaltenders not with the great save percentages early on, but that's what can often happen. Those high percentage shots are often the ones that kind of make it through. So see what kind of adjustments could be made here for Granit Game and see if they establish themselves a bit more in that offensive zone here in the second period.
And indeed, the second period just about ready to begin. And we thank everybody for joining us. The first game of two between these two playoff caliber teams, to say the least. HAVU Gaming, of course, former champions of the Elite Division. There's a puck dumped in, but a offside call here in the opening few moments. And we get another look at that face-off battle between two more than capable centermen in terms of winning the face-offs. Again, another tie-up. Antonio Mannon not able to hold that one for Granit. Zovi not able to hold that one either. And a little bit of a struggle to hold on to the puck for both teams here. Good poke check there. Puck knocked loose. Here's Zovi, the goal scorer, throws one on. Good kick save by Sibelius. Furion across the backhand attempt nearly went. Space here perhaps for Weagleson. Has help joining him. The spin, the pass, an extra pass. Puck on the line and cleared out by Granit. Very dangerous moment there. But Thunborg was able to stand tall.
Yeah, a lot of tic-tac plays right there and a couple whacks at it after it kind of skidded through. Interesting bounce right there. Nasustelia had a bit of trouble with that, but was able to make the recovery. Was a good chop down low. It's just a little bit of a misread.
Flyer Kungen, the short side tuck, nearly went 5-hole. Thunborg does a good job to hold the post.
Yes, we've seen Flyer Kungen vying for just a second goal on the year, but plenty of assists so far. So he's leading by example in that regard. We'll see what they can do here with an offensive zone face-off. If they have a set play in mind, they end up losing right there. And Furion, bit of L-skating to protect the puck and is able to work that one out of the zone.
And we like to mention Furion a lot. In terms of a tournament that we've housed under NHL Gamer, he's one of the most prolific scorers in Weagleson. Prolific scorer this season, nearly had his second of the game. Battle for the loose puck. Ekin able to get it to Laminance. Puck essentially dumped in off an errant pass. Battle of the centers. Dominointi gets the better of that one. Good movement here from HAVU. Better defense from Granit. Antonio Mannon having a little bit of trouble. He's able to find Ekin. Pass over to Furion. Finds Zovi. Takes the hit. Offside is the call regardless. With 9 minutes gone here in the second.
This game sort of more settled down a bit with less kind of hectic chances at least appearing for Granit Gaming. Still kind of struggling to establish themselves. And I mean, we've said that a lot in the past about HAVU Gaming. The layers of defense that they're able to put up, seeming as the season has gone on. Able to establish that once again here and put their foot down and stop teams from those zone entries and getting the chances.
Again, HAVU semi-finalists last year, losing to our eventual champions in H-Reds. Trying to get back towards the top of the mountain. More performances like this aside from that penalty. That penalty that they took. Deflection bid, still loose. Thunborg makes the save. Sin, we have seen a couple of moments like that in today's broadcast of goaltenders just able to make the cover at the last moment.
Yeah, those bouncing pucks, especially off of shots from the points, with deflections or not, sometimes goalies have a bit of issue with it. Might see another one here as Nasustelia back to Ville Kuhn and doesn't get through the traffic.
Flyer Kungen trying to win that puck back. Finds its way to Antonio Mannon. Good movement. Here's Ekin. Numbers for Granit. Ekin looking. Saved by Sibelius. Stared him down. Never budged off that short side post.
Didn't budge whatsoever, and he's done a pretty good job here making the saves when he's needed to. Hasn't faced a high amount of pressure quite yet, but we'll see what happens with the offensive zone face-off as Zovi gets the tie-up win.
Does loose puck on the line. There, good save. Off a chance from Ekin, point-blank range. Ville Kuhn. The go-ahead goal at this point, of course. Here's Flyer Kungen now. Tried to go to the point, miscommunication with Dominointi. Wasn't fully on the boards where he needed to be. We have 5 minutes to play in the second period. A 2-1 HAVU lead. They've yet to trail in this game. The puck is dumped in. Trouble there, but handled by Laminen's Antonio Mannon. Tries to get that pass out. Now Nasustelia. was able to control it. Zobi for Antonio. Gets it back after a poke check. Again, the puck below the goal line. And fought on for. Chance for Zobi. What a stop by Sibelius. Zobi tried to go far side. HAVU. We get that puck up, and unfortunately for Wiegelson, pushed offside by the defense.
Yeah, it was the back check right there of getting back and maybe a little accidentally on purpose shoving him off sides. Not that you can aim for someone that consistently to shove him off sides, but when you make that contact, maybe, just don't try to avoid him. Just keep skating forward and push him offside, and worked out for them right there as HAVU not able to get the zone entry off what could have become a decent chance for them. They're going to have to reset now in their own end after that poke in the neutral zone and see if they could gain traction once again on the break-ins.
Miscommunication there. HAVU will reset. That pass off the mark gives Granit one more look, perhaps. Another offside call here with only 6 seconds remaining now.
Now, there are some pretty interesting neutral zone face-off plays. We haven't seen a whole ton of them so far yet, at least in our broadcast here in the ECL Elite season.
And this will bring us, as Akin has that shot poked away, this will bring us to the end of the second period. And a look here at one of the saves made by Sibelius. It is still a lead for HAVU as we head into the third.
2-1 here, and I got to say, HAVU's really kind of looking to be on that suffocating style that we're kind of so used to them, at least in the past, being able to have. And now with the kind of them adding through those dump and chases into their game, it's really creating an interesting outlook here for HAVU. Not having to rely on the neutral zone pressure as much. If you could dump it behind the defense and have a guy moving in there with stride to either set up their down low cycle, which they love, or kick it back up to the point for those cross seam one timers. A lot of nice opportunities. That being said, I like the period for Granit. They got a little bit more zone time established, put a few more shots on net. Didn't find the back of the net, but they are still within one going into the third period. All it takes is one shot, one chance. They've been doing a pretty good job of limiting some of those higher percentage looks that HAVU are going for, and we'll see how that fares for them here in the third period.
Indeed, third period underway, and a near chance there for Antonio Mannon out of the gates. Puck still bouncing around, causing trouble for HAVU. Good job by Granit to keep it alive. Akin can't get that shot through. See what Flyer Kungan can do. He's able to gain the line. Trouble for Nasustelia. 2-on-1 down the other way. Laminens for Antonio. Tries to go back, and Sibelius makes the cover. And Sin, you can see the puck not fully across the goal line, but oh so close.
Oh, so close indeed there, as he was horizontal. Yeah, he turned horizontal right there in his crease to make that cover. Bit of a close call for HAVU there, but Granit maintained possession. Nice block there at the point. Good pressure from Wiegelson.
Brown wasn't able to get that one through. Here's Villikun. Good sauce pass up to Flyer Kungan. Spins. Nasustelia over for Wiegelson. Great stop. Doomborg able to keep that one out. Keep this a one-goal game. Dominointi wins it back, or at least momentarily. Ekin still fighting for it. Nasustelia throws one wide. Up for grabs. Wiegelson has it. See what he can do. Furion battling for it. And again, Wiegelson takes it away. What a play. What a pass. Furion denying the offensive chance at the last moment. Here's Zobi for Granit. Spin. Throws one off the side of the cage. And it's HAVU back in possession one more time. Here's Villikun. Nowhere to go. Great shutdown defense there. Laminens, the captain, able to send that one in. Already 7 minutes gone here in this third period. The first game of two, again, the regular season meeting between these two clubs. That pass is off the mark. We'll have a foot race for it. Wiegelson wins it. Look at that pass cleanly to the Flyer Kungan, who sends it back down low. Dominointi now has it. Dishes to the point. Gets it back again. And what a play there. At least attempted. Better defense from Granit. But Sin, it's HAVU right now are controlling the pace of this third period.
They absolutely are. You can maybe make the argument Wiegelson could have pulled the trigger right there, but his angle was a bit off. If he did get the shot away, it might have been one of those slower kind of twisting shots rather than the one-timer, which could have presented a much more dangerous turnover there.
Wiegelson again takes the hit. Dominointi racing for the puck. It was a good quick pass to get that one out of danger. Ekin still fighting for it in the offensive zone. Wraparound bid doesn't go, and Dominoiti takes away that second chance. Big sauce pass. Picked off, and it's Granit back in possession. There's Antonio Manning. And that pass picked off. Ekin, great job battling for the puck. If I'm not mistaken, he could have been one of the two players I saw that had no contest as a gold rather than elite edges. Actually, it might have been Antonio Manning and Furion on that right-hand side, but it's interesting to see, of course, what setups players go for. Here's Nasustelia. Holds up. Movement shot. Scores! The puck finds its way to Flyer Kungen. And he snipes one top shelf. HAVU take a 3-1 lead here in the final 5 minutes of this third period.
Just a brilliant play from HAVU there. And again, hit off the puck, but with the momentum carries right to Flyer Kungen, who picks that corner. I think that's where Wiegelson was perhaps going to try to go with the puck anyways there on that pass. That being said, a great play from HAVU. Getting that 2-goal lead here with less than 5 minutes of the third. Granit's going to have to hustle here, but easier said than done against a team that can shut it down defensively like HAVU.
And great positioning often pays off. Wrap bid there for Flyer Kungen doesn't go. In trouble here for Granit to try and clear. Great forechecking pressure from HAVU was a staple. They were at their peak not all that long ago. Amazing defense and great forechecking pressure. They win the puck back. Now Sestelia. Gets it into the attacking zone. Dishes low. Furion able to take that one away for Granit, but they have under 2 minutes now to find 2 goals, and it's Flyer Kungen again knocking that one back into the attacking zone. Furion can't get it past Wiegelson. What a performance this is from HAVU to keep it down to the other side of the ice, but it's knocked loose. Foot race for it. Now Sestelia wins it. Plays it back around for Flyer Kungen. Great pass to Wiegelson. Up ahead for Billy Kuhn. He's denied. Great stop. Wraparound bid doesn't go. Great job by Thunborg to keep his team alive, but they're really struggling to get possession. So Wiegelson now circles back around. They're doing a great job of keeping it low. 30 seconds to play. Finds its way to Wiegelson once more. Takes the hit. And a penalty's drawn. HAVU to the power play. And Sin, I hate to say it, but when it comes to Granit Gaming, I think, their abbreviation is where we stand. GG, this one's over.
Absolutely. That's the final nail in the coffin. What a performance by HAVU on that zone time. I mean, sometimes the best defense is a good offense, and they just grinding it out down low, and Wiegelson just trying to protect the puck on the board. Ends up drawing the boarding call because he had his face right to the glass.
Good movement here. Dominoiti can't get that shot through. 15 seconds now. HAVU looking to keep that pressure on. One-timer, loose puck. Lehmanen's handles. And here comes Ekin. Can't get it back from Lehmanen's. Big pass. Oh, man. Wiegelson was so close to pulling that off. A 3-1 victory for HAVU in game number 1. And a big swing of momentum there in terms of the points. And that's a huge win for them.
Yeah, and, big part of me is not wanting to speak too soon, but that sure as heck felt like the HAVU of old right there. We caught a glimpse of it. Now, we may have seen flashes of it in the last season, but they simply weren't able to sustain it for a longer period of time, especially in the playoffs here. This is their time in this season to really kind of work their way back up to where they want to be, where they believe they should be here. And this was a really good statement game for them. A team that's, above them in the standings in Granit Gaming, who's jumped off to a great start. HAVU takes it to him there in the first game, pick up a 3-1 win. And if they can do that in that second game as well, it'll be really putting themselves in a good spot. And they will, I believe, actually leapfrog them in the standings if they do pull that off, or actually just tie them. No, they'll leapfrog. Math.
So that is the third win in a row now for HAVU after, surprisingly, this past Monday dropping a game to Djurgården Hockey. Again, it's been a very interesting start for them this year, but they do get that huge result that continues to push them that much closer towards being right back where they want to be in the top 8 of this particular division. So a huge win for them, Sin, and I mean, again, that's exactly what you needed. A big 3-1 victory. The only goal that HAVU gave up was off of a very rare occasion, as you mentioned, a bit of a scrum after the whistle that resulted in Flyer Kungan taking a penalty and Granit scoring on the subsequent
Yeah.
power play.
And he gave that screen to us there at the end right there. I'm not too sure what that was about. Maybe just owning the mistake or whatever, or who the heck knows, man. But Flyer Kungan, yeah, that was a nice tenacity from him. Ends up getting
Yeah.
a goal because of it, as well as a big assist as well. So, I mean, what can you say? HAVU with a very, very strong performance against a pretty strong team.
Absolutely. So again, that is the first game of 2 in the books between these two clubs. Coming up, the main event of this broadcast, game number 2, our fourth and final game, although it feels like a heck of a lot more thanks to that triple overtime marathon that kicked off this broadcast. We'll be back again after a brief word from our sponsors, and we will bring to you, again, that fourth and final game of this cast, HAVU and Granit, one more time, coming at you in just a minute.
Minkä päällä lakukastike maistuu parhaalta? Ei voi tietää, ellei kokeile. Kouvolan lakritsi.
Loistava vapauttava syöttö ja sen jälkeen ollaan karkumatkalla. Minkälaisia ratkaisuja tulee? Tämän kaverin nimittäin on ollut todella kylmän viileä näissä paikoissa. Kilven räpylän puolelle kummalle tulee liikkuvat taakse kiekkomaali! Ja Wilhelm jälleen kerran nakkikioskille. Smokey Bites ja Snacks ovat tuoneet hienosti lisää leveyttä Wilhelm joukkueeseen.
All right, everybody, and again, a big thank you to the likes of Koblan Lakritzi, Wilhelm, X-Bill, and ST Hockey, of course. You see their lovely names above our heads all broadcast long. A big thank you to them for helping make the season what it is. Sin, it's been a very interesting match day yet again here in week 2 of our winter season. Let's get you guys a look at the latest results from around the league. Of course, a little bit earlier on, we were able to cover the first 2 wins of the season for HV71, as they were able to topple Roots Gaming, who again, Sin, have now lost, I believe, what was it, 5 games in a row? If not, potentially 6
now. Yeah,
now,
that last one was their 6th.
It's been a little bit of a rough go for them after a pretty strong start to the season. And of course, that last game that we just witnessed, another big win for HAVU as they look to shrug off a bit of a rough start. And again, hopefully we'll be able to get you guys to look at the rest of the results there that have happened around the league. And there we go. At least at the very least, we have the standings as, again, now HAVU right where they want to be, dead even with Granit. Granit, the slight advantage in goal differential. Again, left-hand side of the bracket's where you want to be. Of course, earlier on as well, H-Reds moved to a perfect 10-0. Since so much continued movement here. As again, you look, some teams on 8 games, YMCA already on 12.
Yeah, it's a little bit of discrepancy in that regard. Of course, for Lunda, not used to seeing them down in 5, but they do have those 2 games in hand here. And this is, again, a major game here. This second game, especially between HAVU and Granit. After the results of that first one, if HAVU are able to pick up the win here, they just outright leapfrog Granit in the standings are where they want to be in that left-hand side of the bracket and can start to work their way up towards the top.
Absolutely. Again, the bottom 4 spots, the danger area by the end of the season, but you do get a look at the latest results. A big win for Conquer to pick up points in their matchup against Northern Ascendancy after a huge day for HV71. And quietly as well, Sawo Esports, the former Tunnel Vision, doing a phenomenal bit of work in the early stages of this season, Sin.
Yeah, 3-1 win and a 2-0 win against ZSC Esports, who kind of stumbled a bit. They had a hot start, stumbled a bit. They're kind of a bit back and forth here, but they're still trying to kind of gain their footing here in the Elite Division as they'd made their debut last season. But yeah, you saw H-Reds right there with 2 big wins against Edinburgh. And guys, last chance here, exclamation point survey in chat for your chance to win a PS5. Just let us know. It's a community survey. Let us know what you'd like to see, how much you watch us, and how much you enjoy watching NHL Gamer.
Indeed, again, that is your last call. It is the final day to complete that survey. Your opportunity to win a PS5. You gotta take that time. Take a couple of minutes, give us your feedback, and let us know what you think. The game is underway. HAVU in the road black, or the home black and green, I should say. Now, Granit in the white and yellow. Deflection bid, Dominoiti. I think he clipped the post on that one. And another deflection bid as well. HAVU going right back to the well after, again, nearly scoring another very early goal.
Yeah, that would have been massive for them, as that one did indeed ring off of what looked like the kind of corner of the crossbar and the post right there after the Dominoiti tip. And yeah, HAVU really trying to seemingly find their footing, find their confidence, shooting from the point, using the dump and chase, still working the down low cycles, and it's looking pretty good for them early now at the, well, approaching, as you said, the third mark of this season.
Akin just completely bullied as he tried to gain the zone. Nowhere to go, and certainly for Granit, I mean, Sim, we kind of mentioned it again, like all 5 skaters have that opportunity to be over point per game players. The offense hasn't quite been at the level that they would have hoped for so far, and held to just 1 goal again by HAVU in that first game. We have great pressure here from Flyer Kungen and Weigelsson. Mannen trying to hold on, but shuffled on, hit the side of the goal, and forces Thunborg to make the cover.
And no shenanigans after the whistle this time, so to speak. So we'll see if that might carry over a little bit, because there was a couple collision, as you recall, which led to that Flyer Kungen penalty, and then led to that goal there, which made it even in that one. But cooler heads prevailing here so far after the whistle, as we do see some neutral zone play set up, but I haven't really seen Granit be able to gain a clean zone entry. HAVU Gaming doing what they have done best, and that's completely stifling the opponent at the blue line.
I do believe the word was from Flyer Kungen to explain that penalty. I believe the word was paid referees was his response. As here comes Granit again. How big would the opening goal to this game be for them? Great job by HAVU. And fresh off of a 3-1 victory. What a play and what a save. Another chance there. Can't get through the traffic. That was a great look for Nasustelia, though, on that initial opportunity. Big sauce pass. Antonio Mannen tried to get it over to Zobi. Still fighting for it in the corner. Antonio shot. Loose puck in Sibelius. Able to make the save. And here we go. Round 2. Round 2 between Flyer Kungen and Furia.
Yeah, just a little tappy. It looks like Furion, the veteran that he is, though. Just trying to, maybe bait the captain of HAVU into taking another roughing call, but... Oh!
What a goal! It's Ekin off the face-off! 1-0 Granit. Sin out of nowhere. What a play.
Quick face-off play. No power play needed for Granit to get their first goal of the game, as Eklund rifles that one home on that one-time look, and I think that would have been Flyer Kungen trying to defend him right there. Did go down into the shot block animation just a little bit late right there. You always got to kind of be wary of that.
I absolutely love that. I was going to call it a Freudian slip, of course, but, Ekin's last name lines up. Sin having visions of one Mr. William Eklund scoring plenty of goals for the Sharks, just like that, over the next decade or so.
Oh, did I say Eklund?
You did, but again, it's his last name, so it's fine. Here is HAVU trailing for the first time here today. Good blocker stop by Thunborg. And a poke check from Weigelsson. I mean, Weigelsson and Flyer Kungen, we got to see them in action once earlier this season, but the forechecking pressure they've been able to apply to the 2 very experienced blue liners for Granit Gaming has been very impressive.
Yeah, we talk up, I think, especially me talking up Flyer Kungen and his ability to do that. Now to have a partner who can also join him in that escapade it's a scary proposition for their opponents right there. But Ekin says, don't forget about me. Almost forces the turnover right there at the blue line himself.
Puck dumped in, handled well. Granit, a little bit of trouble for Antonio Mannen. Finds its way to Zobi. A failed pass, still trying to gain the line, and they'll drop back to reset. Furion's dump attempt doesn't go. Here's Weigelsson. Now Flyer Kungen muscles his way through and scores! What a goal by the captain! He fooled everybody! And HAVU has tied it at 1 apiece.
What? I don't... Oh my... It was a backhander from behind the goal line off of Thunborg's calf and then into the net, and I thought for a second Flyer Kungen was going to take some laps around the rink. He is in rare form today with some of the energy, the extra energy level, I should say. Obviously plays with that energy, but post whistle stuff, the celebration stuff, he's going all out right there. Must be happy with HAVU's performance, and why not? They just tied that one up.
A spicy Flyer Kungen is what's best for the ECL Elite Division. 2 minutes to go here in the first period. Goals for Ekin, and now Flyer Kungen to tie it as Ekin's pass a little bit off the mark. What a bizarre goal that was. Again, the goalie tendencies to kind of reset completely backfired against Toonborg there.
Yeah, again, that's essentially the meta right there, and Flyer Kungen perhaps playing off that by throwing that one towards the net, or who knows, just trying to throw it towards the net looking for a rebound. Either way, pucks and bodies to the net, sometimes good things can happen, and right there they get the tying goal because of it.
As it is Villikun finding space for Dominointi. Pass across. Big save. Remember that one. As Wiegelson denied again. 2 seconds to play in the period. And it's 1 goal apiece. The end of the opening frame. A lot of choices for play of the period, but it will be the Ekin goal that started off the scoring for Granit Sin right off of this face-off.
And it was very, very nice, as you see there, as Flyer Kungen trying to adjust to it and then go down into that. But those plays can happen so fast. It's very hard to be able to not only time the shot block, but get yourself in proper position, which is often why you see that winger just go directly into the face of the potential pass recipient. But also at times in NHL 22, and especially in this ECL season so far, we've seen different looks than that kind of basic face-off play, which has been in. We've seen, you know, the opposite defenseman getting it, then back down low to the opposite side winger for a quick shot to the short side. But that one, just pretty basic, tap, and a shot. That's their only registered shot. That's all they needed for the goal. But once again, only 37 seconds time at attack. HAVU doing a good job so far to limit their opponent. And although it is tied, if they keep playing this way, you got to think HAVU will take that lead.
Second period just about ready to begin. Again, for those that missed it, HAVU winning the first game of this regular season matchup 2-1. Excuse me, 3-1, as we are ready for the second period of game 2. That's where the twos happen to come in. Both teams identical records on the season now. Again, what could be a preview of a postseason matchup. Two teams certainly of the caliber, especially when you have displays like that. The icing canceled out by Ekin. Tyrion dishes low for Antonio Mannon. Again, drops down low, loose puck, bouncing around. Stelia will recover. Let's see what HAVU can do here. Taking their time, controlled breakout. Dominointi with speed down the wing, pass over, gets it back and scores! Vintage HAVU on that one with a deadly counterattack, and they add another goal here, Sin, to take the lead. What a play.
I think it's got to be said, ECL Elite, you are on notice. HAVU may indeed be back. What a play right there, as you saw first. Even Flyer Kungen racing up the ice initially with the camera on him as well. When that happens, you can be sure that they're thinking about throwing out those Omaha plays. And for that, you know, presentation aside, obviously the forward needs that camera on himself so he can time the gap, look for the angle and stuff like that. But they don't end up needing that, as that was a great rush play and the late man one time back and forth, just beautiful right there to set up the goal.
Let's see how Granit respond. They're giving up 2 straight goals here. Flyer Kungen not able to hold on to it. Dominointi takes the hit. Another loose puck. Now Stelia in a foot race for this one. Great composed play from the veteran defender. Flyer Kungen, great puck possession there. Great control. The ability to protect, has the puck here. Wiegelson scores! Make it 3 unanswered for HAVU. It's a 3-1 lead as Flyer Kungen and Wiegelson have yourselves a day, fellas. And we'll see a timeout from Granit.
Yeah, they need to try to stop this momentum in its tracks, but it's going to be easier said than done. HAVU just seems to have seemed to found that extra lever, playing unconscious right now. I mean, again, we're kind of seeing all the pieces of HAVU that we have expected to see really coming out now in this new season. The shutdown defense, the stifling at the blue line, the rush counterattacks, and now that, the fabled down low cycle, setting up those in tight opportunities where Wiegelson goes to the far side on Toonborg. Pass from the captain, who now has probably about 13 or 14 assists, just an insane amount of assists coming out from the captain flyer, Kungen. And HAVU, what a response after that, the goal off that face-off play.
We hope to see this properly sync, and it does. Weagleson entered play today as his team's leading scorer, and you can see why. He and Flyer Kungen really causing trouble for Granit. 3 unanswered goals for HAVU. A 3-1 lead. Of course, the same scoreline that the last game finished by, but of course, we're not even halfway through this one. We're close to it at least. Here's Ekin's shot, and Sibelius is able to make the save.
Yeah, I gotta say, Sibelius hasn't faced a whole lot of action so far in this series, and some of the chances he's had to face have been pretty in tight. That one a bit easier there, but with that cut to the to the forehand, I should say, by Ekin, you could still get a nice shot on as they try a deflection opportunity from the point.
There's Antonio for Ekin. Big stop by Sibelius. Excellent tracking from HAVU's netminder.
Yeah, that was a nifty little play there from Antonio, the behind-the-back pass to Ekin on his forehand with the shooting lane, and Sibelius says no.
And off the draw, HAVU in control. Good outlet pass, finds its way to Weagleson, but an offside call here. Just over now halfway through this game. Tremendous work from HAVU, not only to battle back and tie the game, but at the same time, of course, taking the lead now at this stage. But again, a long way to go. Granted, still the opportunity to battle back. Biliku does a good job to take his time. He'll send it all the way back down. There's a nervous moment there, Sim, when you see a goalie play it so close to the goal mouth, but no trouble for HAVU. Flyer Kungen again trying to cause some havoc. Here's Ekin. Can't get the pass clean to Antonio Men, and not Stelia. We'll look to settle it down. Trouble again for Weagleson to maintain possession. Can Granit get the offense going? As you saw, they scored on their only shot. Weagleson finds the puck, short side. Thunborg the save. Never gave up on the play. Nasu Stelia, shot deflection, kick stop. And a cover. Thunborg having to come up big here late in the second period.
Yeah, facing a flurry of chances there as HAVU just keep coming in waves, and it's just a matter of survival for Thunborg right there. And Granite Gaming got to do a little bit to be able to stem the tide and try to tilt the ice back in their favor, as they are still down in this game by 2.
As Dominointi trying to send that one down low, having trouble against Furion. Granite in possession, but mistimed at the blue line, never really able to get into their offensive rhythm in this game at this point.
Yeah, and that's what HAVU does so well, is they slow you down in the neutral zone, and it doesn't even seem like you've been slowed down until you've almost come to a dead stop, and there's just simply no room to make a play. That's, again, what HAVU does best, is they set up the trap almost before the blue line, too, to really make you work for it, so that, in that case right there, if you do dump it, their guy's probably going to be the first back forward.
Zovi in possession here for Granite, finds Antonio bouncing around. Now Sustelia, a big moment, gets that puck. Good set play there. Better back check by Zovi to break that one up. Final 2 minutes now of the second period. Those quick passes for HAVU nearly paid off. Here's Zovi, the back skate, loose puck. Sibelius, couple of saves. Might have to make a third one. Dominointi takes it away and draws the trip. Perhaps a frustration call. Furion going to the box. And Sin, this could be a huge moment now for HAVU.
Yeah, tough to not be frustrated after that. You had a couple good chances, but Sibelius, I was watching his positioning the entire time, tracked that puck through everything right there. That was massive. Made a couple, at least one save right there through traffic. Now we're going to get to see HAVU on the power play.
Set play. There's a score! Dominointi in front, got a piece of it. 4 unanswered goals for HAVU, and they're starting to run away with it.
They really are, as that was Nasu Stelia with the big blast off the pass from the captain, a give and go, and it was Dominointi somehow getting a deflection on that, directing it home. Not a whole lot Thunborg can do on that. HAVU make them pay immediately on the power play. They have 3-goal lead with just about 40 seconds left here in the second.
Goes from bad to worse for Granite. Final 10 seconds. Villicum, the head of steam. Pass over. Loose puck, scores, but it is being waved off. What an effort it was from Villikun. And indeed, you can see the goal interference and can't imagine that one will count.
I don't think it will either. The refs in this case, Flyer Kungen did get it right. No payment, no check was slid across into the pockets of them in that case. But 3.8 seconds left should just about do it for the second, although I did think it was... I don't know what to say about that.
Matchup
yeah,
tonight.
It is. It's we're seeing a lot of high emotions, people wanting to put on a show or just be entertaining, folks. And I gotta say, loving that side of Flyer Kungen. He's having a good game, getting some points, some goals. Even saw Thunberg there doing a bit of the goalie windmill after giving that last one up. So a lot kind of on the line between these two teams, and HAVU having their way with Granit Gaming here in this second one. If they do maintain that 3-goal lead, despite what the score at the bottom says, they are definitely ahead 4-1 there. If they are able to maintain it, then they will
paid refs.
leapfrog.
I think we'd have to question Granit if it was actually still 1-1.
Yeah, apparently. The refs, the score judge, oh my goodness. Scandal in the ECL.
Fixes in.
Oh boy.
Then as we get a look there, I mean, stat-wise, obviously it's very much in favor of HAVU at this stage.
Yeah, it absolutely is, and it's not as much as it would often seem, but some of their goals have come off those rush plays. It's just, at this point now, Granit Gaming has to stretch the game out, and that's just going to feed HAVU's counterattack. And if they don't score on that chance, you got to feel like the tenacity of Wiegelsen and Flyer Kungen to force all those turnovers. It's just going to create havoc. They can get that down low cycle going off. That if you're Granit Gaming, you're kind of between a rock and a hard place. What do you do to get back in this game?
Goal would certainly help, but if HAVU gets one, they certainly have the opportunity to completely run away with it. Dominoiti scored the 4th goal for HAVU. You're unable to take that one away. And against him, we see a very short possession for Granit. Loose puck, Villikun's there. Goes for the move and opens up a chance for a counterattack, but Wiegelsen was back there to help defend, and of course, sign of all the top teams, just how well can those forwards get back to allow those defenders to make plays. Wiegelsen gets it down low. Great defense there. The loose puck will go all the way down. There's a risk of icing. They elect not to call it. Certainly benefits HAVU to keep that clock going. As Zovi picks it up. And Ekin, the lone goal scorer in this one for Granit, started off the scoring back in the first period. Good movement there, but completely stifled at the side of the net. Flyer Kungen again, the quick work once they get possession. Now Sistelia nowhere to go. Ekin can't hold on to it. Puck sent down low. Good patience by Furion, but just like that, 12.5 minutes remaining in the third. Granit need at least 3 goals to get back into this one, but crazier things have certainly happened here in our time covering the Elite Division. What an outlet. Great job, though, by Furion to read that one and pick it off.
Yeah, the creativity coming out from HAVU this season is just unmatched to what we've seen in any sort of previous season. A dangerous turnover right there. Zovi almost got the shot away. There's Flyer Kungen.
He has Wiegelsen with him. What a block. I think that might have been saved. I think the defender got a piece of it. Dominoiti sends that one through the slot. Flyer Kungen's shot blocked. Dominoiti has it. Wiegelsen in front. Save. Thunberg. Pass again in front. Still fought on for. And finally, Granit able to get a piece of it. 8.5 minutes to play. As Ekin nowhere to go. And Sin, I mean, you mentioned it. It's one of the things we talked about with HAVU previous seasons. We're playing our style. We're sticking with our style. If it works, cool. If it doesn't, oh well. That is not the same HAVU that we're seeing so far this season. Especially in this particular matchup. As Villikun steps around the defender. Great poke check. But contact between the two members of Granit allows Sistelia to win the race to the puck.
Yeah, it's just kind of how things have gone for Granit here. It's like you might have an opportunity, then it's immediately snuffed out either just by random chances. Flyer Kungen was jetting up right there. Does have the step, but no real chance for him to have momentum with a stretch pass there. So they opt not to go for that, as we will see another trip, and that one's definitely a frustration penalty from Granit Gaming. who really have gotten a whole lot of nothing here in this period. The clock's been against them, and HAVU has just been chewing it up as we're going to see their power play once again, and this could be the nail in the coffin, but certainly if they score, that would be the nail in the coffin here in this game.
Let's see what Granit can do. We have seen some short-handed goals in this broadcast. Another one here. Certainly turn the tides. Here's Villikun. Rocket pass to the point out of the reach of Dominoiti. Again, these two teams know each other so well. Hence that little bit of extra spiciness back and forth. Stelio will have to wait it out. Brings it all the way back. Trying to generate some speed for the forwards. Zovi has it and is able to clear. Now 25 seconds to go on this power play. Looking good for HAVU. They're back in the zone. Chance. Wiegelson nearly swept in his own rebound. Created space here. Antonio Manon on the breakaway. Flying poke check from Sibelius. Takes it away. The play by Seabay.
Absolutely. Just a huge flying poke check right there, and that's just going to be another frustrating moment for Granit where, yeah, you might not win, but you want to get that one goal. Again, we kind of mentioned Antonio, the slower of the forwards of Granit, to get on the scoring sheet as they almost send Flyer Kungen home again. Fearon attempts a shot that gets blocked. And
battle for that loose puck. Dangerous area. Villikun at least cleared it somewhat. Flyer Kungen can't get it to Wiegelson. Good pick off by Laminens. Final 32 seconds. HAVU going to pull off the double against Granit and Sin. The theme of today, teams that needed to pick up points to kind of get their season back on track, able to do so.
Yeah, with first HV71 pulling off the double earlier against Roots to get their first 2 wins of the season. Here's HAVU to leapfrog Granit in the standings and put some separation between their wins and losses in their columns. We might not be done yet. Flyer Kungen skates his way in off the spinorama. I don't think he got a shot away, but I don't think he was expecting to come through unscathed with that puck either, as that one ends, and HAVU take the win there, take the series 2-0 against Granit.
Phenomenal work for HAVU, again getting the points that they needed. One more look at what has been deemed the play of the game. It is called the game-winning goal for Dominoiti. And it was off of that sweet pass, that sweet give and go with he and Wiegelson that sealed the deal. What a performance for HAVU. That was a tremendous set of games.
Yeah, that was, again, that's the first game was a statement game, and they capped it off, and this was a statement set. This was, putting the rest of the ECL on notice that HAVU, yeah, definitely not a team to be taken lightly. They're not going to fall off. They're not going to go away without a fight right here. And this was perhaps, I think, the best we've seen them play. I would even go so far as to argue since last season, even though they had a good record and they made it to those semifinals, this was the most confident and kind of the most willing to sort of switch things up and not rely on a system to win HAVU that we've seen. Again, they still have that defensive capability. They can still shut you down, but they're not relying on that to then get the down-low cycle. They're doing the dump and chases. They're feeding that counterattack. They're willing to kind of look for those Omaha plays. We saw Flyer Kungen going up a couple of times for it. And there you see him right there, him and Wiegelson. 3-point game there at the end. And again, just cannot be understated. What a performance there from HAVU in this 2-game set.
Again, pulling off the double against a very, very competent team. So we might get another look there. The lone goal for Granit, it was off a set play in the first period from Ekin, and just so fast. I mean, that's been a staple play in competitive sixes for over a decade.
Yeah, and it can be so hard to defend against because oftentimes you don't know if it's coming or not, and it's, sometimes you have a different face-off play in mind, and all it takes is that split second for it to work. I mean, you saw it right there. Flyer Kungen tried to adjust to it, and, he's got obviously quick reactions playing at the highest level, but even he couldn't react that quick. That just, kind of goes to show you how effective that play is. You almost have to always be prepared for it. And like I said, if you're trying to do something else, might not always go that way. So it was a good attempt from Granit. They fought hard until the end, but at the end, they just kind of got a little bit suffocated there by HAVU. So there, Granit now on a bit of a skid themselves, having lost the last, I think, few games now.
Yeah, I mean, we're trying to wait it out here for that game to be reported so we can get you all a look at the updated standings. Of course, again, one more time, NHLgamer.com, the place you want to be for all of the updated information. But at the very least, HAVU should be ending today around 5th or 6th in the standings. Of course, again, we have so many different amount of games played as most teams continue to push towards the 10 mark at the very least. But Sin, again, a huge result for HAVU, and I think we might have to call it before that is officially updated, which is a shame. But again, NHLgamer.com is the place to be for that as we continue along here. And again, oh, there we go. At the very least, the latest results, and of course, the double for HAVU over Granit Gaming, of course. And I mean, again, Sin, some interesting results here today.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially the match we saw earlier, HV71 really taking it to roots as their skid increases now to 6 games without a win, and that's something that they're going to want to correct as quickly as possible, and maybe a bit to be expected. H-Reds maintain their undefeated spot with a 7-1 and a 3-1 win over Edinburgh. Sabo doing a pretty good job as well, fighting back. I mean, this season, these standings are just going to go crazy as we do kind of get a look at it right there. But unfortunately, yeah, that last game not reported, but it will be. HAVU jumping over Granit and for the time being Goons and being tied with Frölunda. So just like old times, HAVU and Frölunda right next to each other in the standings. Not to the top where they'd want to be, but a couple games in hand at least for Frölunda.
Absolutely. So again, everybody, a reminder, we will be back tomorrow, again, same time, 1945 CET, 2 p.m. Eastern for those of you on the North American side, as action will be called. Here you see Sin taking the captain's chair for tomorrow. He'll be alongside Mr. Endo Mills as they call Djurgården Hockey against H-Reds. Again, as you saw, our undefeated defending champions. And IQ take on Goons. Sim, we've had numerous matchups that we have deemed could be early playoff previews, and that one as well is one to keep an eye on.
Yeah, it absolutely has to be with the way IQ's playing and vying for that playoff spot with the way Goons has been playing since coming into this league. It's hard to imagine that won't be a first round matchup. That could very well be our 4 and 5 slot right there.
Absolutely. And for those of you who are wondering, yes, his real name is Endurance. As well, the final call, exclamation point survey in chat. Today is your last day. Make sure to fill out our community survey for your chance to win a PS5 digital edition. Of course, all you have to do is share your thoughts. We want to hear from you. We want your feedback on what we're doing well and what we could do better here at NHL Gamer. Again, exclamation point survey in chat. Your last opportunity to win is today. So make sure to fill that out. With that, again, we thank you very much for joining us. I'll be back here next Monday, but again, make sure to catch Sin and Endo tomorrow on the cast. NHLgamer.com, of course, one more time. Make sure to catch Sin on the YouTube side of things at Sin for the Win Productions. I am everywhere at Tukey24. And of course, the takeover continues. You can catch Endo, Sin, and myself on the Tugey's Take podcast. Look it up. It's a fun show. Get involved. Catch the fever. Sin, it was a fun show. That triple overtime, it made it again. When will it end? Wednesday. The answer, right now. We'll see you tomorrow.